Hail to the king, baby.
Hello, everybody. Hope you had a great holiday weekend. It's Monday. You know what that means. It's time for another episode of Chill and Chat with Michael B. And I, of course, am Michael B. I said the thing wrong, James. It's me. It's Michael B. And tonight I am joined by my buddy James Hates Everything because I have some legal questions about some of the things we're going to talk tonight. And if there's anybody that understands these legal documents better than anybody else, it's got to be James. James, how the hell are you doing, man?
I am doing excellent. How are you doing?
Mediocre.
Mediocre.
Long weekend, man. We spent the weekend completely, because I talked to you on Discord. So we go up to my cabin, and there's this weird thing at the cabin where they have this new internet provider called ExploreNet, and they're really trying to push selling like internet packages to the cabin holders up there. So you used to be able to go up there and use your phone, no problem. I've even streamed wrestling pay-per-views at the cabin on my phone, but now it doesn't work at all. I can't even get text messages on Discord. Like, the messages come through intermittently, so I am completely like logged off from the world when I go up there for 2 whole days. So look at Bill, that son of a bitch. Mike has a cabin. He's using Stock Jocks materials. I can't believe this. So I do have a little cabin, but before everybody gets excited and says, "Oh my God, he's got all kinds of money," it's on my parents' property, so I didn't buy the land, and me and my dad built it by hand. So it costs less to build than it does to buy a Stern premium pinball machine. So nobody get too excited about me having a cabin. It's not this super ritzy thing. It's a little like 2-bedroom little cabin that we built ourselves. So it's super cool, and I get to go up there and spend time with my family. But at the same time, it's not like it's one of these like $1 million cottages or anything like that.
Yeah. Well, it sounds like it's good though that you get to unplug and get away, right? Like that's often the difficulty of going on vacation is you don't really get to go on vacation.
Yeah, and because you work in the not-for-profit sector too, I mean, like you never really get a break. Like I could be getting messages 2:00 on a Sunday evening. Like it's not uncommon, right? So it's good to have an excuse to be like, sorry guys, I'm gonna be unavailable for a couple days. Anyways, James, we got some fun stuff I wanted to talk about tonight. So first up, we're going to talk about Iconic Arcade because I want to get your opinion on that. I want to get a lot of people's opinion on that because Friday was supposed to be a pretty big news day, but it's funny because most of the people who got the information actually didn't even put out a video. So I wanted to talk to you a little bit about that and also the changes with Iconic Arcade and why some of those were probably done. Also, I want to talk about Arcade1Up with a very weird marketing move to introduce their new Miss Pac-Man Head To Head machine. And there's some legal stuff there as well that, I'll get your take on to see if you know anything about it. Also, I want to talk a little bit about Evercade. They announced some cartridges this past week. I didn't put it in the thumbnail because I know Super Evercade fans are like, yeah, but for me, I'm like, hey, the Activision collection's pretty cool, but it's not that. It's kind of a nothing burger, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's not cartridges I'm going to be, going crazy for. And then, of course, talk about the X-Arcade Haptics Kit. And I did you a solid, although I told Chaotic BPR, and this is the truth, if I do not get, a review copy, I'm going to use his pre-order link. But you have a pre-order link as well. So I actually put that in the description of the video. We'll talk about the X-Arcade Haptics Kit. And if you guys want to use the link in the description of the video, you'll be helping James out. He gets, what is it, like pennies on a dollar? Is it like Superman 3? What's your commission rate on that?
If I remember right, it's like 5% or something. I don't remember off the top of my head.
That's not terrible.
Horrible. Yeah, it's not horrible. But I will say, if you guys want to support Chaotic, go use his link as well. I think every creator in the space has one. So, support your
They didn't give me one, or I didn't use it. I don't know. I can't really remember. They sent me the thing. I made videos. I don't really do the link. Although I am going to do it pretty soon. T-shirt company I've worked with before, Into the AM. They recently just reached out to me, sent me some more T-shirts. So, yeah, we'll see how that goes. I just got to notice that ads are inserted. And that's not how it's supposed to work, because it's supposed to be on every 30 minutes. So I don't know why that happened just then. That's a bit of an annoyance. Fucking YouTube, always trying to get money out of people. Speaking of trying to get money out of people, I also have a super chat goal set up. So if you want to give me some more money, the super chat goal is set up. If we get 10 super chats, I think it's like $2 and above. I am going to spill the tea on Basic Fun. We'll talk about what's going on there.
Oh.
The only real information we have to tell people right now about when you can expect to see more news about the Basic Fun cabs. Believe it or not. I know, Bobby LU, it was supposed to be right at the beginning. You're supposed to get an ad, and then 30 minutes in, I don't know what the hell's going on, but we'll use this time to say hello to the people in the chat, James. We got B. Kirby here, one of the absolute nicest people in the community. Shedcade Money, friggin' MG said, I actually don't have a cabin. And he said that it was actually some kind of masturbation bunker. He's always so classy.
He always keeps it highbrow, doesn't he? He's one of those British guys that really keeps it gentlemanly the whole time.
Oh, JJ, I love you, but we're going to disagree there. I know it's fun to, believe me, nobody likes beating up on Cornercade more than me. Trust me. But he never told anybody to send him money that I know of. His wife set up what was it? His wife set up the GoFundMe. Everybody tried to make it seem like he was stealing from the community. That's not what happened. It's never been my opinion. Anybody can set up a GoFundMe. For fuck's sakes, Glenn set up a GoFundMe to get funds for his help with his dog, even though Glenn has a really good job, all kinds of stuff going on. I think people are just looking for an excuse to take down certain people. Cornercade's a piece of shit, but he's not that kind of piece of shit. Anyways, I see my buddy 19K Fox here. 19K Fox, no show last night because 19K Fox was busy out in the woods hunting the greatest sport of all, man. So 19K Fox was home with his family, hanging out. They had a bunch of fun, so good for them. We missed you, Foxy. Looking forward to see you back next week. Also did something really nice for his mom, which I don't know if he shared with the public, but I hope he has. See, look, anybody can set up a GoFundMe for anything they want. The hunt was successful. I can't wait to see your trophy case. Good to see you, Mystery Encoder. Jim, the Pacey's fan, good to see you. Mike Hawkhurts is here. Nova Sonic is here. Nova Sonic keeps sending me like suspicious files trying to get me to watch that F1 movie, and I refuse to watch it, even free. I can tell you right now, sometimes even a free movie is not worth it because James knows I still know what I know what you did last summer, the remake of I Know What You Did Last Summer there last night, or the modern one. And my God, I don't care that I didn't pay for it. I wish I had that time back. It made me hate the movie. It made me hate everything else too. I hated horror movies for a while after watching it. It was that goddamn bad.
It was pretty terrible.
So bad. Don't watch it, guys. If you like the original movies, don't watch this. If you didn't like the original movies, still don't watch this. It's terrible. We got Pinball Junkies is here. The B Me, Calvin Wong. Who else is here? J Rod's here in the chat. Rotundo, Ritual Dello, B Kirby, who I mentioned. Talked about Bobby Ale, one you earlier. Skyhook, if I'm not mistaken, Skyhook, you're the one who bought the new Terminator 2 Deluxe, and he has a new name for it. I've always hated the Slim Katie name. That's not a good name for it. He actually came up with a better name. He called it the Terminator 2 Diet, the Diet Terminator 2. So I like that a lot better. Paul Minderman's here. He wants you to talk about your experience with the Joelcade, G.I. Joelcade. How did it feel to be the first person to get it?
I actually feel really blessed, honestly, that Joel let me be his guinea pig. So, going through early versions of the instructions and kind of troubleshooting some of the stuff, and the guy is, I got to tell you, the guy's a genius. Like I can't say enough. Like he is a true like product engineer in every instance of the word. He thought of everything, and it's just damn impressive. I don't think I've ever met somebody like him. So the cab is very, very well engineered. Like
what they say. You know what they say about geniuses? They're usually crazy loners who live in the woods. How do you feel that describes G.I. Joel?
Might not be too far off.
Unacceptable Fringe says, can we not just get a re-release of the Miss Pac-Man pub table in Canada? Really disappointed I missed out on that one. Yeah, we never got that one here, and it doesn't look like it's coming. Canada's hit or miss with Arcade1Up, especially their club store stuff. Like, we did get the Golden Tee and the Pac-Man XL at very limited stores last year. Weren't allowed to open shop for them online. I don't know what's going on there. Who else we got here? Steve Sales here, the Ringer with the big hole-in-one this weekend. The Real Zim is here, and I just jumped off where it was. Hey, Daniel Grayson's here. I still haven't figured out how to fix your thing. Glenn Runyon. Mark James is here. Good to see you, Mark. Thank you for all the support on Twitter, like always as well. Trying to catch up here because I did this crazy thing and popped down the chat quite a bit. The Ringer is here. Hole-in-one. Stock Jock is here. Our buddy Stock Jock. The Real Zim, not the fake Zim. I don't know. Have you ever met the fake Zim?
I think I've seen him one time, like run through golf, but just the one time.
Yeah, if he doesn't talk about lifting at lunchtime, it's not the Real Zim. That's what I got to tell you. Hey, very nice of you to do, B. Kirby. Jumping up, gifted 20 Michael B. the Game Genie memberships. Thank you very much. Look at all these awesome people, including Gamer Fridge. Well, awesome people except for Gamer Fridge getting these memberships. I'm so happy to see it. Hey, our GT85 got a membership. So did P-Dubs. Look at that. Nice. Israel Gaming is here. If I missed anybody, I apologize. But if I keep going through the chat, I'll never get through this, guys. So thank you very much to B. Kirby again. And remember, if you do want to hear about the Spill the Tea on the Basic Fun Cabs, we do have the Super Chat goal, but no need to participate. It's not a big deal. You can save your shillings for, when is it, Thursday, James, you do your show?
Yep. Thursday night.
Thursday night, James does a show, and he has, in my opinion, the best of the Super Chat goal names, Sloppy Seconds. I thought it was fantastic, so save your money up for that. Can I get a refund? You cheap motherfucker. Turn on your arcade, Speed-Ups. Anyways, James, I have a poll up right now about Iconic Arcade News. Did the Iconic Arcade News make you more interested in the cabinet? So right now we got... Damn cough. Right now we got 66 votes. 14% are saying yes, they're looking to pre-order now. 17% are saying yes, but already pre-ordered. 8% says no, canceling my pre-order, and we were a little bit concerned. There was people that were really adamant. Any changes, I'm canceling.
Yeah.
But the big one leading the pack right now is no, will not pre-order at 62%. There's still a huge part of the community that, It's just they won't touch anything to do with John D. They just, they stand on that side of the fence. I stand with Glenn, all that stuff, and
Yeah.
it's more about the person than the product, and they don't want to support them. So there you go.
Yeah, and the reality is, I think you put any cab up there, you're going to get 50 to 60% that aren't interested.
Yeah.
It's just the way it works out.
So, James, I'll ask you off the hop. All this news came out. I know John was, sharing out renders, the final renders, giving out little pieces of news, including the, press release and stuff like that. So it seemed like it was going to be a pretty busy news day. Everybody making videos on that. Didn't turn out to be that way. I know 19K Fox said he couldn't make a video because he was actually going to be traveling. But why did you choose not to make a video? You had a live stream and then you pulled the live stream back. Why was that?
Yeah, so there were a couple reasons. One, like I was under the impression that time was earlier in the day.
Yeah.
So I was timing it over basically my lunch hour. Then I was told it moved back. So then it moved to Pacific time. So then I rescheduled it and then it moved ahead earlier back to the original time. And so then it was just I was caught up and honestly I don't know what I expected out of the news, but we weren't clear on how the news was going to come out. So that was one thing. Where is it going to premiere? Didn't even really know what it was. We knew there was going to be renders, and then we were told other news as well. And when it ultimately ended up being just the renders, I was like, well, it's kind of hard to do a live reaction when it's already out, it's all over the place.
Yeah.
And that really was the only news. And it was one that wasn't that surprising to begin with, right? It was like, hey, number 3 won. And I think most of us knew 1 and 3 was in the lead and 3 was out in front fairly early on. So it wasn't a big surprise, from that standpoint.
Yeah, I feel, did Cornercade make one? Like, Cornercade, honestly, like, if Arcade1Up, like, Cyrus took a shit, Cornercade to make a video about it. It'd be like, he was in there a long time. Maybe he was thinking, maybe he worked out a deal on the toilet. Did he make a video on it after?
I believe he did. I thought I saw one that he did. Didn't watch it, but I saw the thumbnail or whatever.
So I was planning on making a video. I got, the advanced information. Hey, we got our first super chat of the night. $4.99 from Joe Cade. Joe Cade, one of the nicest people in the community, always supportive. He was on Gamer Fridge earlier for Open Fridge. And I got to tell you guys, I'm a little bit disappointed with the community. Fridge does this show Monday nights, usually before me. He goes like 2 hours. Honestly, guys, please go give it a chance. It's a really good show. The way they get through topics, the way that, what is his name now? I keep calling him Fridge, Gamer Fridge. The way he goes through his stuff it's really well put together. The show has really good pacing. The only thing that really brings it down is Todd, his totes in the background, and his microphone is terrible. So, if Todd can get those things straightened out, it'd be a really good show. But Joe Cade was on it. I was on there earlier. There was only like 15, 20 people watching. You got to do better, man. Those are rookie numbers. Pump those numbers up. Come on, community. Sport Gamer Fridge. He's a good guy, and he actually has a really good show. So do me a favor. Go check him out.
Yeah, and if you missed tonight, Todd revealed what was in tote number 1. So you got to see what was in those mysterious totes. And
hopefully it's a better microphone. Like, why does he sound so bad?
The other thing is, if you tune into Jay's show, you're going to get free stuff because he tells you every free website that's giving away free games every week. So, if nothing else, you learn where you can get free games. So.
Man, YouTube is an absolute mystery because you could be subscribed to somebody, have notifications clicked on, leave their channel on nonstop, and still miss videos from them. I don't get it. I never will understand. I donated to the Toad opening. Yes. All right. So let's get back to Iconic Arcade. So we did get the renders up. I did a video on it. I'm actually more prepared tonight. I have my screen separated so we could go over some of these. We obviously know the poll results. Number 3 won. So first off, What do you think about that? Were you happy with the initial design for Street Fighter II: The World Warrior, or do you think there was a need for maybe reconsidering the art package?
I thought it was fine. I thought there were definitely better things you could have done with that, but I didn't think it was outside the norm. I thought it was a nice modern take. And what probably the 8% of people said is I was concerned like people had already ordered it with that look. Like so then you change it after they purchase that can be problematic, right? So there
Yeah.
were probably people that really liked the way it looked and now are a little disappointed that it changed.
So, obviously, me personally, I would rather see these arcades as recreations, but we know Capcom was cheap. Capcom didn't do full art packages, especially the further you got into the 90s. They did conversion kits. Usually there was a little sticker on the side. For me personally, my main problem with the art was I didn't like the big Street Fighter 2 yellow sideways. So I'm happy with this. There's just still a couple things I would change. Like even when I first saw this, I mentioned to John that Ryu's picture should be angled the other way instead of this way. It's different from the original concept art. But, at the end of the day, this is pretty good looking. It did make me a little bit concerned because I watched on the original Media One Up global fan page, the Facebook page, everybody took this as a win for not doing original art. And I was like, nope, that's not a good idea. And I even talked to John and he said, Capcom's one of the companies that let me play around with the art. And I was like, John, I don't like that. Don't say that. I don't want you to fuck around with the art. Some people might like it. I don't.
Yeah, for normally I'm with you. I want the original art, but like you said, these a lot of these Capcom ones were just the sticker on an all black cab, and this one in particular, A1 Up did a version of this
Yeah.
cab as well, and so it was like, yeah, fresh take isn't too bad. Now, to be fair, I had no intention of buying that one. I bought the Street Fighter Alpha 2 because that
Oh,
is
you
one that hasn't been
modern
out that
arcade people makes me
looks
sick.
so cool, and I already have the other one. I have that other one
Yeah.
sitting in my office, so it was like, it's like, I don't need another of the '90s, neon look. I want that,
Yeah.
you know, that alpha one with I'm drawing a blank on his name for something for some reason with, the bad Ryu, Akuma or whatever.
Akuma.
Yeah,
Yeah.
having a brain fart.
Oh, I always do. Right in the middle of a show or a video, usually. So we got a 4.99 super chat from Vic Vicious here. Spill the beans. I still support John D. Some people do. I mean, you can support John D. You can support a product. What's more important to me, like I like. I'll give you an example. Wonderland Amusements. I love all the people involved with Wonderland Amusements. Met them. I think they're fantastic. I'm so happy for them. But that doesn't mean I'm going to buy their product because it doesn't really fit me. I have physical pinball, so I'm not looking, to take pinball home. I'm very happy for them. I support them, but if I didn't have, a pinball machine, I'd probably be more interested. But that doesn't mean I'm going to support them. I don't believe in that. I believe in the product. If something's a good product and I'm interested in, I'm going to buy that. I don't care who made it.
Yeah.
I don't get this mentality. It's like it's kind of like Xbox versus PlayStation and the whole tribalism thing. Even with wrestling, I know you don't watch wrestling, but people are like, you either have to be one or the other. No, just buy what you like. It doesn't matter. You don't have to support one company over the other. They're billion-dollar companies. So they don't give a shit about you.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, I couldn't agree more, and I've always thought some of those artificial rivalries were weird, whether it's Microsoft or Apple or Atari, a television, Nintendo Genesis, like, it's all the same, like,
So
they're all good,
unnecessary,
like,
right?
who cares? They all have their place.
So Here are the two cabs. This is what it looks like. Zim mentioned a comment earlier. He said the gap in the side panels is too visible on the renders. So, again, that's a render. We'll have to see what the final image looks like, but hopefully that gap isn't as noticeable. One of the big things that I found funny when they first talked about the new cab design, they really played up that the control panel was now 24 inches. And they were like, it's all about comfort. We want to give you that two-player experience, just like the real arcade control panel. And I was like, that's great. But the real reason you're doing it is because you put a 24-inch widescreen monitor in there. So, let's call a spade here.
Yeah, and on that line, I would say, like you said, it's renders. I think that line is put there obviously, so there's no miscommunication. It's two halves, right?
Yeah.
Like, and when you get it, it'll be a snug fit, and you won't really notice it. Just like all the other deluxe cabs that you have now, similar kind of design.
I think Devastator Omega brings up a really big point. I think the next move for Iconic Arcade, after all this information went out, now is we need to see a final production model. And this has always been the challenge, either with Arcade1Up or any company that makes these products. Because I'll go back, and I'll always bring up this example. What concerns me is, like, they made a big deal when Killer Instinct was coming out that Twisted Chris was going to get one, and he was going to be able to tell everybody if it was good, if it wasn't good, how it worked. And he got one the same day that they actually came over on the port data that they had already shipped. So if Twisted Chris had got the final Killer Instinct and said, man, the buttons are messed up, like there was something wrong with the physical cabinet, there was nothing they could do about it, right?
Right, exactly. And it makes you wonder, like, if there's production versions out there for beta testing and all the stuff that's involved with getting one of these to market. Like, you would be using that to show things off, I would think. But who knows at this point? Obviously, Wonderland rolls around their prototypes, all over the country, right?
So Paul brings up a good point. Something you might not know about this, Paul. That's true, and it's also not true. So it was done with CAD files, but the side panels didn't actually separate. It was, even though it was done with a CAD file, it was nowhere near the final product, right? It was super prototype. Side panels were full side panels. They didn't split in half. It went together like an Arcade1Up, but not really. Like, there was no PCB in the back, like everything was set up really weird. So yes, that's true, and then kind of not true too. So it wasn't handmade like the Double Dragon Bobby Boo job, but it still wasn't anywhere close to where we were or where we should be with final production, right?
Yeah, and I think it was running like RetroArch or something, like that was one of the two.
Like the original Arcade1Ups.
Right. To stand it up and have a functioning version. I mean, obviously I had my hands on them. They were super cool. Like, don't get me wrong. I thought it was awesome. Like, I was blown away. Good size, and now it's going to be a little bit bigger, so I'm excited for it. But it'll be really interesting to see the full up working, functional release coming out.
So this is actually a very funny and true statement. Console Kits mentions actually it was built by Fox. I hear most arcade cabinets we've seen online were built by Fox. That is not a false statement, because he built the BCong. BCong usually builds them when BCong's the only person there, but Fox actually built the iconic cabs. Fox and me put together a Nat Games Legends Pinball 4K at Pinball Expo, and Fox actually built the Nova Blast. That that famous picture that's right on the website. Fox actually built that Nova Blast. So that's a really, really true statement.
All the companies hire Fox to come in and build their cabs.
Striker Cage says, can this be any worse quality than Arcade1Up? Do we really need a prototype? I'm going to be honest with you, Striker Cage. I'm kind of in that department too. I'm done with the questions. I'm pretty happy with what I've saw. I'm going to pre-order when the pre-orders come back up, as long as they're reasonably priced. So, I don't really give a shit, but for some people, they're going to want to see a final physical version before they buy. So I'm saying that's probably Iconic's. Well, I think Iconic's next move is to put the pre-orders back up, but then after that is then to try to get us a physical machine, show some gameplay on it, or at least I got a better idea. You know how Arcade1Up does those marketing videos where they've got the machine there? At least have Iconic do something like that. I don't know if they have the same kind of budget for marketing and stuff like that, or if it's something they think is necessary, because I know that comes out of John D's playbook. So I'd like to see some videos of people actually playing something close to the final version or something, you know?
Yeah, it would have been nice to see them at Gamescom with some functional version
Yeah.
of one of these cabs. Since they're over in Europe, and you just had the biggest video game convention, and Arc System Works was there, and Capcom was there, and would have been a great opportunity for them to show up and show it off.
Yeah, so I did want to go back and talk about the news that came out. And Paul is here in the chat. I know that it was very big on Reddit. I got to apologize to you now. For a while there, James, I really felt that you were the new meat puppet for John D. But I think it's Paul. Because all the news, I kind of understand where people were coming from. Like, I'd like to give everybody a hard time. A hard time if the way they do things. And John is really funny. Like, he always tries to do things really fucking weird, like the way he gives out information. Like, very appreciative that he'd reach out to me and give me stuff, but at the same time he'll be like, I'm holding this for this person and I'm holding that for that person. And like, he tries to spread the information out throughout the day, I guess, and like make sure certain people get it. And to me, it's all just fucking weird. Just put it up on a website and let anybody make videos about it that wants. I don't get it, but and that's the way he does stuff. So I think, like you and a lot of other people, really there wasn't much information left to tell after the Reddit information came out. Like, we knew at that point, it was on the Facebook pages too, that option 3 had won. We found out about the press release with the name change, and we saw the new renders. There really wasn't anything left to tell at that point.
Yeah, I mean, I think the only other thing is telling us exactly what model of monitor they used, like, which, we all knew it was a Lenovo widescreen, as was
Yeah.
the guess, right? So it wasn't a big shock there. So knowing the exact model, that's just, who cares, like, kind of a thing. The name change again is like, I
That's
get
the
it.
only reason I still made the video, honestly, was the
Yeah,
name
yeah,
change. I wanted to make fun
yeah,
of it. Extreme.
I can see, there's a lot of theories around the name change. I honestly think it's like, hey, it's a way to market that it's even bigger than what they had originally planned. So, changing the name to say, hey, it's even bigger than what we said before, to kind of make it clear. But yeah, I mean, a lot of that was, um, I mean, it was news. What I think the biggest news of all of it is that it came from Iconic Arcade themselves, right? The
Did
post
it?
was from
Did
Iconic.
it?
Well,
Was
that
it?
it was that David guy or whatever. Like, it's his Reddit name and everything that posted it. So
Nah, it
I
was
mean, it
John
was
D.
written by
I will.
ChatGPT, if that was your question.
I will
Like,
tell you that there's absolutely Lenovo people involved, but all that came directly from John. If it didn't come directly from John, I'd be very surprised. But they did give a contact for Lenovo, which I thought was a smart move, especially with the way that
yeah,
everybody's been in the community. Again, John is one of those people that people like to, mark as negative against and stuff like that. So there's been people trying to run smear campaigns saying John's stealing from you. These cabs are never going to come out. To actually throw that name out there and throw that email out there, really, really, really smart. It shows that, this isn't a fly by night company. This is fucking Lenovo, and they're going to deliver.
yeah, and I actually reached out to him, and it's part of a team over at Lenovo that are handling all these the marketing and stuff around the cab. So it's interesting. Obviously, they're a bunch of German fellows and ladies, so I don't know how well they speak English, right? So, like, I was messaging saying, hey, it's pretty obvious this post was Chat GPT, right? Because it's got the emoji,
Everything's
like,
Chat GPT now.
all over
Jesus.
it.
Yeah.
It's like, man, you got to tell it no emojis at a minimum. Like, it was berserk.
So I just want to go. Someone brought up the Iconic Arcade website, and I don't think there's been any changes. I think they spent money to put the original website up. They haven't really done anything since that. So let me just bring this up for you guys, share it. So here is the Iconic Arcade website. It still has the original splash screen video that Mason Conrad did for them. Still lists the cabs as XXL. And then if you go down here, it's still broke for the pre-order link. And also the VMI pre-orders are still down at this time. We were told, I was told directly from Spreetail that it's going to be closer to when the cabs actually come out. So sometime in October, we'll see the pre-orders go back up on the VMI websites. And we'll also see maybe some other retailers get involved like Amazon. So I wouldn't expect any changes to this website anytime soon. For anybody looking for validity from the website, still says XXL, nothing's changed with the website, and I don't anticipate any changes. Even when we get to the date, I don't think they'll go through the trouble of making changes to the website for some reason. Just got a weird feeling, James.
Well, it would take a lot to redo all the animations and things that they've
assets.
done, but throwing new renders up on the one place you click on to go to to wherever you go to pre-order it next time, like, maybe they'll do that, but for the most part, I think where you'll see it is on the whatever the order page is for the new site.
So now I'll bring this up, and this is why I wanted your expertise on this. The change to Extreme. Do you think that part of whatever legal action Arcade1Up was trying to take was they were saying the name XXL was a little too close to home to their XL line? And that's what I mean. I wouldn't understand the change to Extreme otherwise. So he's really changing it to Extreme. So it's XT. So it still has the X in the cabinet. And he's calling them Extreme full size arcades. The other reason might be I think John's still in the 90s and he still thinks extreme is like a really popular term. Extreme.
Makes me think of X Factor, right? From WWE back then.
Yeah.
But so I mean, that's always possible that they said XXL would interfere with or would create market confusion. I think that is probably a branch too far. I mean, it's pretty close, but it's still different. And let's face it, you're not going to be able to really copyright or trademark XL. Like everything is XL, small, medium, large, XL. Like it would be hard pressed for them to really be able to defend that. I honestly believe one, it's probably smarter for them to just get away from the XL, XXL anyway. So just like Basic Fun is doing with their Ultra and Supreme, whatever their naming conventions. And like I said, I think the main reason to change the name was to emphasize that it's a different cab, that it's bigger than what they showed off before. And so how do you get bigger? They turn around and call it triple XL, like it's so Extreme hits that hey, this isn't what we told you before, it's now bigger. But I think it's no happy accident that you take XL from Arcade1Up and you take Supreme from Basic Fun and you smash them together and you get it Extreme, right? It's like a little bit of both.
Anyways, so we got this news. I will see where I'm to, and I know Vic Vicious asked this question earlier. He said, "What do you think the price will be?" I know they're trying to keep it as close as they can to the original pre-order price. Like, I'm in a weird place with this. I've said since day one, and I think a lot of people feel this way too. Like, there's a lot of cool things with this, extra things you can do, but I mean, we've seen Street Fighter so many times, right? So many different times. We never got an XL. I really like my Arcade1Up Capcom Deluxe Street Fighter Deluxe cab, so it's tough for me. I don't know if I really want to replace that. Bring in one of these cabs. I know it can do extra things. It's going to have an added game library, so it's a bit of a challenge for me. I'm very happy with the free shipping, the $9.99 price point. I kick myself all the time. I didn't pre-order when it was initially up. So if it goes back up under those same categories, especially where even though we're getting a better monitor, the truth is it's fucking cheaper. So if they say, well, we had to put in the good monitor, that's bullshit. 4x3 BOE monitor costs you a lot more than their Lenovo monitor. So, they can say whatever they want. It's a better monitor. It still costs less.
Yeah.
So, hopefully the price stays at that $9.99 point. They'll probably argue me on that. I don't really give a shit. The reality is there's only a very small amount of 4x3 19-inch BOE monitors. It comes from one source. They've got to be really picky and choosy about getting them. So they're never going to tell me, oh, well, it's the BOE monitor is cheaper. Bullshit. I don't care.
Yeah, and if you go to the other providers of 4x3 monitors, they're either really bad quality
Yeah.
or they're much, much more expensive than the BOE, right? So it's it makes sense to make the change provided they can really mask that that you know mask it off with the bezel, which I think in the originals, that screen was fairly offset in the ones at CES. So,
Yeah.
it needs to be a lot closer to that bezel in order to hide it, which I'm sure they'll do. It's not going to be that big a deal. They're not the first company to use a 16:9 screen on a 4x3 output to hide it behind stuff. So,
No, I mean, obviously, this is something that Quarter Arcades has been doing for a while. They do a really good job of it. I don't
yeah,
have any, I don't have any concerns about that. So as long as that price point's at $9.99 Canadian, I got to make sure as
right.
long as it's not like $10.99, $11.99, I got a very good feeling I'll be pre-ordering this, especially with the free shipping. So we'll see what the people at Iconic can do. I would
Yeah,
advise them that I know it costs money, but I'll go back to what Fourth Horseman said earlier. Before you do put the pre-orders back up and before you release the product, I know it's a lot of money to change the splash screen for the Iconic Arcade website. I would take down the video and just put up like a dedicated screen, maybe a slider with the new information, because a lot of this information is outdated. Like it
yep.
still says 19-inch BOE monitor, other stuff. You don't want to create that kind of confusion for your fan base, and they're going to go to this website, right?
Yeah, and allegedly, right, you could I bought this and you didn't ship that. So like,
Yeah.
there's a lot of changes that have happened since everybody took their pre-orders. So, I would even advise you got to take an extra step of notifying all the people that pre-ordered to make sure they're 100% know that what the changes are, because you can't count on them being in this community and picking it up. I mean, this thing was run on CNN and all bunch of other places. So you don't know who bought this thing and that they're hanging out watching Reddit and YouTube for news about it. They're just waiting for it to show up. So
I'll tell you, nobody's watching the corner cade, so you don't got to worry about that. Mad Astra Gaming, will it be on-screen bezels, or will they're going to physically cover the screen, Mad
physical
Astra?
bezels. Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
All right, James. Anyways, that's enough about Iconic for a nothing burger, which, that ended up being. It wasn't that much news except for the name change to Extreme, which gave me a lot of pleasure because I just found the name really funny. I will give them credit, though, because at the same time, I don't think it's a bad thing to separate themselves from Arcade1Up and
Agreed.
Arcade1Up XL, because if you remember, the two XL cabs that actually made their way to retail had those really shitty screens in them. So there might be some people that go out and they see another one and they're like, oh, Street Fighter, I fucking love that game. Not as ensconced in the community and the news as we are, but they're like, oh, is it anything like that other XL that had the really bad screen? So not a bad idea for people to move in that direction.
Yeah, and certainly John can be proud of his time at Arcade1Up, but with Basic Fun coming out and you really want to separate yourself as being this premium home arcade
Yeah.
brand, then you really need to do whatever you can to distance from what those two are doing, which are, the more consumer. I think John's trying to be in that prosumer market, right? Like getting or an Iconic, getting in there where it's not real, but it's also above what a traditional like 3/4 scale Arcade1Up just consumer version is.
Paul, you're not wrong. There, a lot of people were asking for renders, final renders of the cabinets. And then when it came out, it was kind of a nothing burger. You're not wrong. Hey, I made my video. I love the extreme name. I had to make it.
No, it was important that they came out, right? Not because it was newsworthy, but to show people, look, we're still progressing. We're doing all that. Doesn't mean it's like, knock the doors, socks off, like, ooh, how interesting, right? So they're continuing. They showed a UI, they've shown the final renders, they're making progress. They're telling people what they wanted, they said they wanted to hear. That's all positive stuff. It's not, there's not a criticism for sharing it. It just don't expect like the world to be like, woohoo. Like it
Yeah.
wasn't like some earth-shattering news. It was important news, and I think everybody will cover it as they go throughout the week. Like, you're covering it on your show now, and I'm sure other people will cover it during the week. I just, that particular announcement, I don't think was a stop the presses, sound the alarms. Like this is hot off the press. It's all stuff we kind of have seen, right? Like
Yeah.
those 7 cabs were shown in the poll, so you kind of knew what one of the options was going to be. It's nice to see them finally say, "This is it. This is the final version," which was great.
So a couple of quick hits. Will H, I've got a super chat goal up there to talk a little bit more about basic fun, but I'll probably talk about it anyways. You got to give the people what they want, even if I don't get my super chat goal. Nooner, have there been any news or updates regarding New Wave toys or Numskull lately? Still potential shipping pre-orders this fall. I'd say that it's a better chance that New Wave toys will start shipping their pre-orders than Numskull. We have seen from Evercade, especially with fun stock in the last little while, like with the ever moving tariff targets, they've actually cut off their shipping to the US for fun stock again. So anything coming in from over in the UK or anything from China may be impacted. So I guess we'll have to wait and see what happens with that. Until we hear something from them, it's a little hard to speculate, especially again with the ever moving targets. But
Interestingly enough, though, did you see Numskull was out at PAX West this week?
I did. Yeah, I did. They said they were going to get, once they did our show a couple of times, Super Game Room dudes, they said they were going to get more active in the community. They went to Cleveland Gaming Classic last year. I think they feel that there's a need to kind of connect that way. So I think it's a good idea. So in another very head-scratching move, James, this is what I found really strange. Arcade1Up launches new Miss Pac-Man head-to-head arcade machine. Now, the reason why I wanted to bring this up and talk about it was there was that big news, or what everybody thought was news, coming out of IGN Live earlier this summer, when the guy at Arcade1Up was really excited about this Pac-Man pub table that he talked about that was going to be coming to Costco. I don't know if there is a Pac-Man pub table coming to Costco. It looks like their big other thing, Pac-Man, they were talking about, is this head-to-head. And if I'm not mistaken, this head-to-head's been out before, hasn't it? It says Arcade1Up launches new Miss Pac-Man head-to-head arcade machine that they've already released before.
Yeah, and I think this thing's been released and premiered like 3 or 4 times at this point, the same exact design. So I don't know what they're talking about. I think $600 is the price. I don't know if that's like $100 more than it used to be. Seems awfully expensive for one of these cocktail tables, but it's pretty it's pretty strange to be acting like this is brand new news, right? So, but they went full court press. There were a few different. I think this is a paid article, right?
Yeah.
And it's in a couple different publications. So Arcade1Up is marketing. People are paying to put this out there like it's something brand new.
Now, the only thing that I don't know if it's new or not, did the other head-to-heads have the glow underneath?
I don't think so. So the LED might be the
new thing.
banger.
I mean, it's the exact same games.
The Pac-Man Plus really with that footlight, right? Like it has the turquoise footlight. So
So I did find it strange that they had gone out of their way to reach out to a media outlet, GameSpot, not one I really read all that much anymore, but I used to read it at one point. And I think our buddy Gabe Gerwin from the community used to work there. They might have used that connection as well to get this article up, but they went out of their way to make this article. And plus, then it's currently available. But here's the weird thing about this. This is what it really confuses me with. They put this article out, they went through all this trouble, but then didn't even put it up on their website.
Yeah.
It's not there. Like, if you go through the website, there's no information on it. It's still T2 as the headline. You go to Shop All.
Yeah, it's not
Nothing.
not listed there at all.
Yeah. So why do that full court press if you're not even going to follow it up on your own back end?
Unless it's like, was the links over to Walmart? Is it some kind of like exclusive relationship with them or something? I don't know. It's very strange.
Yeah, it is a
But
little bit strange. So it does link to
see,
Dismiss.
this is to Amazon even, so that
Yeah.
definitely wouldn't be the case. Like,
Yeah.
silly.
So it's available right now on Amazon and also through Walmart at the $5.99 price point. If anybody is interested in picking this up, I've got a link down in the description below. It is an affiliate link. Give me your shekels. So it is an affiliate link, so you can pick it up if you want. This is available now, not on their website. No video, no information from them, no other renders other than the stuff they have up on the Walmart website. I just found it so strange. The other thing too, look at these poor people destroying their knees. These head-to-heads have always been just a little bit too small. This could be a really good product, a really interesting product. They just refuse to make them tall enough.
Yeah, they need an extra 3 inches on them, and then they would be fine.
Same
But
thing
yeah,
my wife says.
like the first one I saw built was at Nebraska Furniture Mart in their big former display, right? And I was like, holy, I could never play this. It's like you have to stand on your knees. Like, it is so low to the ground.
Yep.
Like, it's crazy.
Yeah, I think someone mentioned got to get them furniture risers for the legs. I think we should be past that. I really do. Oh, Penny Arcade's here. Good to see you, my man. I asked G.I. Joel to make a head-to-head riser, and he refused as well. I will tell you, I remember talking to Act Games years ago, and I tried to convince them to make a cocktail table, a head-to-head cocktail table, their own, and they said, no, it's dead weight. It doesn't sell. So that's them. So
yeah, see, I would own a cocktail table if it was, because they're pretty nostalgic to me.
I've always wanted one. Yeah.
Those are just too short. Like,
Yeah.
a little bigger. And I saw a prototype that Bobby Vu had worked on that was really cool. I was like, hey, that was pretty sweet. Like, I wouldn't mind something like that. But this is
So here's the interesting part that I don't see cup holders. Neo Severa says, yeah, that's a big miss as well. The cup holders would have been a good thing. That's one of the things the Pong pub table and like the Miss Pac-Man pub table that came out recently, that those cup holders, even though they're the stupidest, easiest add-on, kind of like the faux coin door, makes such a good addition. Like, it makes it so worthwhile. So cup holders would have been a good idea, especially the light up cup holders. I love that on the pub table. Another thing I wanted to talk about, why does Arcade1Up refuse to do Miss Pac-Man in a baby blue? Why do they refuse to do the original cabinet?
I have no idea. They continue to go back to this black one every
I don't get
single
it.
time. The only time you can get the blue is in the class of 81.
Yeah,
And
and
I
you're
don't
only getting half
understand
the
that.
cab then.
Yeah,
So
I don't understand it.
here's where it's interesting. I asked Cyrus one time, and I didn't. Sometimes Cyrus would just tell me what he thought off the top of his head. It wasn't necessarily an official answer. So when it's been a mystery for me ever since the deluxe line was released, the first thing they showed how they introduced the deluxe line was a deluxe Miss Pac-Man that was blue, and I
Yep.
was like, I would get that. But we never got it. It never came out. They eventually did a black Miss Pac-Man Deluxe. And ever since then, every Miss Pac-Man product that's released is black. So I asked Cyrus about it, and what Cyrus told me was the reason why is this is what the retailers want. But I will throw this out there. There's always, and I 100% agree with Jason here. Miss Pac-Man XL at
Oh, yeah.
Costco would sell 15K units, 100%. That's all they
Without
gotta
even
do.
thinking about it.
You want to print money, do a baby blue Miss Pac-Man XL, not class of 81, Miss Pac-Man XL, put it in Costco. It will do as well, if not better, than your Pac-Man XL did.
Yeah, and I'm so tired of the "that's what retailers wanted" line from Arcade1Up. That's
Yeah,
just all bullshit. You're not gonna tell me that a retailer said, "You know what? I really like this Miss Pac-Man table in blue, but you know what it really should come in is black." The only way they would have
exactly.
black is if Arcade1Up showed them black, and they're like, "Oh, no, I like the black better." Right? So don't show them something you don't wanna sell, right? So it's a bunch of BS.
So,
My
James, there's also a strange legal issue with Miss Pac-Man and Arcade1Up that I wanted to talk to you with. There's a gray area with Miss Pac-Man because, as you know, the company that originally made Miss Pac-Man was supposed to be faster, harder Pac-Man. So it was this third-party company that made these games that made like add-ons to the original arcade games to make them a little bit harder, to make the coin people a little bit more money. They made a faster, harder Pac-Man that eventually became Miss Pac-Man. They were a separate company from Namco or Midway at the time. So eventually there was this rights battle back and forth with Miss Pac-Man. And you know which company actually bought the rights to this company that actually made the game that didn't own the rights? So there's a weird thing.
I do know. It's
It's
at
at
games.
games. Yeah. So when Arcade1Up did Miss Pac-Man, I asked them how they got around that. I was like, how did you do a Miss Pac-Man without having to give At Games any money? Now, believe this as you want to believe it, but John D said, "Oh, we only have to pay the money if we put a coin door on it." So I think the reason they've gone with the black so much over and over and over again is one of those weird opt outs because all the deluxe cabs have what? That faux coin door.
Right.
So if they don't do it in blue, they do it in black. It's altered enough so they don't have to pay out any money to At Games.
It's certainly possible. My understanding at this point, what At Games really owns is the outstanding royalties on it. So, like, they
Ah,
bought the royalties, not the license itself.
no, they don't
And
own the license. Yeah.
right, and so Namco just was kinda like, because at the time, At Games and Namco were partners, making, their little boxes, for the drugstores and stuff. And Namco found out that At Games was bidding for it under their nose when they were in the process of closing a deal, and they basically told At Games to they can go F themselves, that we'll kill Miss Pac-Man before we ever let you make a dime on it. And so
And
like
then
they
we
paid
got
$10
Pac
million
Mom for some
for it
reason.
or something. Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. Yeah, and so they've changed it all up and they've tried to do this stuff. And so I do buy that maybe there's something there with the coin door as part of it, but I don't know how much that 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 goes, right? Because you've got My Arcade released their blue Miss Pac-Man. They have Namco themselves have Miss Pac-Man on the Pixel Bash with Pac-Man. So there's all these things we hear about, oh, they can't appear on the same cab, and all these other things that I don't know how much of that is true anymore
Well, see, the
and how
thing
much
is
is.
that the reality is Arcade1Up or no other arcade company. I know everybody wants this. They like put Pac-Man and Miss Pac-Man on a cabinet
Oh,
together,
yeah.
and they will never do it because
They can
why
sell twice
would
as
they?
many. Yeah.
Why would they? We're just gonna
Yeah.
put both of them on a cabinet and we'll just go fuck ourselves. Like they intentionally put them on separate cabinets so they can sell more cabinets. They'll
Yeah.
never sell them together because then why would you buy two cabinets?
Well, and the funny thing is that, like, they've still done that, right? You have people that have bought, um, Galaga and Pac-Man, even though they're always on the same cab. So there are people out there that are buying it just for the sticker, right?
Yeah.
Like, just for and I get that. I'm okay with that. I understand why people would do that, right? You want the nostalgia in there. But you're right. It's a marketing thing. Like, we want them separate because you're going to buy both, because people will want both of those for sure.
See, this is one of the areas where I'm a big hypocrite, because I always say I will buy a cabinet for one game, and I love Galaga. I love the cabinet itself, but I always refuse to buy it because I'm like, I already got those games on another cab.
Yeah.
It just feels like such a waste, right? It's a weird thing, right?
I wonder too if and this is just ideating off the top of my head, if Namco really isn't a little bit behind the slow balling of Miss Pac-Man, because they want Pac-Man to be the focus, and I think most people believe Miss Pac-Man is the better game, and that's the one that's more nostalgia for them. That's the one people want more. So, like, you know, it would be smart of Namco to lean into that, yet they don't. They really want you focused on Pac-Man, and so I think that all comes down to, you know, they might be purposely holding Miss Pac-Man back a little bit in order to give Pac-Man more love.
Anyways, final thing I want to say on this. Dear God, Arcade1Up, make a XL Miss Pac-Man, use the baby blue, not the black. Make a deluxe Miss Pac-Man, use the baby blue, not the black. Trust me, you have at least one customer, and I bet you there's hundreds, if not thousands more, that want a blue Miss Pac-Man, accurate Miss Pac-Man.
100%.
Enough with the goddamn black. All right, so
let me ask you one thing though. The other thing that's been showing up, but we haven't seen any pictures of, is Pac-Man Neon Edition. Have any idea what that is?
It's Pac and Pal Neon Edition. So originally I thought it was just that stupid Pac and Pal that came out last year that then also had the neon underglow. I was like, oh, that's what it is. But Jim, the Pacers fan, let me know that it actually has a different model number than the Pac and Pal that came out last year. So, James, I have no idea what's going on.
Yeah, there's Pac and Pal and Pac-Man Neon Editions. There's multiple.
Oh.
Yeah, so it should be interesting. They got to be the 40th anniversary stuff is all I can think.
Yeah, and maybe it's some kind of neon artwork on the side. Maybe it's something like specialized. I have no idea, but Devastator Omega knows, knowing Arcade1Up, it will be a diet arcade.
100% it will be.
Oh, I hate that. And that's another thing. Arcade1Up, stop it with the slim bullshit. I don't know what you're saving, but it's not worth it with how you're making your consumers feel. Like, you could put out the best arcade in the world. Like, you could literally put out House of the Dead tomorrow, and I would still not buy it because of your very weird design decisions to have these cabs be so narrow and so slim, and the absolute massacre you do to the side artwork. Stop it. I want to support you. Stop it.
Yeah, it really doesn't make any sense, because it's not like it saves you so much room that you can have an extra row of games or something.
No.
It's like, it's silly.
All right, James. So I found out P-Dubs is actually doing a show tonight. Who knew? I didn't even know P-Dubs was a YouTuber anymore. He goes back and forth, right? He's always quitting. But I want to clue up pretty quickly so we can send people over to P-Dubs. You know, you got to go pay your homage to the mayor. You can't let him go without the night. So I do want to send people over there. But first off, I did want to talk about this. So big news. There's a link in the description below, which is James's affiliate link. Also, go check out Chaotic BPR. He probably has a post up on his YouTube channel. He has an affiliate link as well. We're finally getting the Arcade 2TB XR Haptics Kit coming from X-Arcade, $150, James. What do you think of the price point, and what do you think of what we see here?
I'm blown away by the price point. When I saw that, I was stunned. Like, that is, I was thinking $400 for this thing, and it was going to be a tougher decision. At $150 for me, again, obviously I have an affiliate with them, so take that for what it is. But for me, that was a no-brainer. So I bought it like immediately when I saw that it was up. So I didn't hesitate. But I do think it's harder to install, right? You're going to have to get a drill out. You're going to have to do that stuff. So if you're not comfortable with that, you might steer clear till you see some videos and of people using it. I do have questions about placement of some of the exciter motors and things like that, but it's hard to imagine they're making much money on it at $150. Man, it's very inexpensive.
Yeah, so good move on them. I was concerned when this was first announced that it was going to be like $400, $500. The fact that this is only at $150. I keep making jokes that if I don't get a review unit, I'll use Chaotix. I'm probably going to order this myself. The only thing I'm a little bit concerned with is shipping and duty to Canada, because last time when I got my X-Arcade, even though it was a review unit, like it felt like I just bought it. I paid that much for the shipping and duty. So I am concerned about the shipping and duty to Canada, but I think I'm just going to pick this up. I am worried about the drill stuff. I don't really want to drill anything, James. Like, what the fuck? Couldn't they just send like new parts?
Yeah, I'm definitely going to be interested in how it all goes together, right? It's a retrofit, for everything they thought about on this thing and how modular it really is. Like, this kind of, I think, came out of left field for them, like when it became so popular because of Pinball FX VR, and so they rushed to get something like this out there, fully obviously tested and developed it, but it's a lot of retrofitting, so it unfortunately is going to be a lot of drilling.
People want refunds on their super chats. I feel bad, but not going to give them to you. So anyways, guys, check out the X. Like, I want to talk about this just a little bit before I will close out with a little bit of news on Basic Fun. So with X-Arcade, I think what really happened, James, which caused the retrofit, I think they intended for this to be connected with Meta and for you to be able to play arcade games on it. I think the relationship with Pinball FX VR came up after the fact. They didn't expect it, and it became such a good partnership, so positive with people's response to the experience that they reacted quickly. They heard the fans and they reacted, but obviously they didn't expect Pinball FX VR to come out. They didn't expect it to work like it did and for people to latch on and buy so many units because of it, and I think it was a total surprise.
I agree, and I'm super happy for them because it's a great device, and obviously with Pinball FX VR, it is next level. So hoping this really, really is an amazing addition. Like, if it's even half as good as the 4KP haptics kit, their SSF, this thing is a game changer. So I'm excited.
Yeah, I'm pretty excited about it too. So that's something I'll pick up. Now, before we go, I did promise you guys some Basic Fun news. So I'm going to give you an abridged version of this because I do want to get to P-Dub's show. And even though I didn't hit my Super Chat goal, I'm a good guy. Well, at least I think I am. I play one on TV anyways. So if you guys might remember from a couple of years ago, and Biggie D is the one who actually gave me the heads up about this. There's this YouTuber by the name of Big Reese. He actually, before Phil, started the whole walk and talk craze, except he wasn't going from store to store talking to cardboard cutouts of Shaq. He was just walking down like a road in Australia. So there was walking and there was talking, but there wasn't a whole hell of a lot else. But one of the things Big Greasy has always been able to get is some Arcade1Up type info, because he has a contact at a GameStop in Australia. So his same contact that's always been giving him like Arcade1Up news about what cabs that are coming out in Australia, gave him a heads up about Basic Fun and said the pre-orders for Basic Fun are going to hit his GameStop. I think it's September 6th. So within the next couple of days, or within the next week, they're saying that GameStop will have the pre-orders up for the Basic Fun cabinets. Biggie, you can correct me on this. I can't find his post, but I do believe it was either September 5th or 6th, if I'm not mistaken. All right, there we go. No, right now, Iconic is sticking to the extreme form factor. We'll see how the future goes. Which cabinets? We don't know 100%, but it looks like for sure it's going to be WrestleFest and Centipede are going to be available at launch, and maybe Star Wars. I would never badmouth Phil. He's the best of us. Like, I would
Indeed.
never say anything bad about Phil. Phil's the best. I hope it's Star Wars. Dear God. No, Will H. That's the thing. If the pre-orders are going to hit then on September 5th, that's probably a good indication they're going to hit everywhere on September 5th.
Yeah, and so here's the other dilemma, right? We've heard that the supreme sizes are only available at gonna be available at club stores. So, are they gonna pull an Arcade One Up? Are they gonna release these things on the same day so people can make the correct choice? Are they gonna release the three-quarter scale pre-orders, and then a bunch of people are gonna hold off waiting to know when the supreme sizes comes out? So, if they don't launch all of them at the same time, they're asking for trouble, in my opinion.
I've got a very good feeling that they will not
Me
release them at
too.
the same
It
time.
doesn't sound like it.
They will put the Ultra Cabs up and they will just do all that stuff or mess up like KI. Yeah.
Yep,
Pre-orders,
that's a
we haven't
mistake.
seen renders yet. This company is uh, very different from the other companies. We've seen renders of both WrestleFest and Centipede those have been sent out for a while now. The only one we haven't seen from the launch lineup is the Centipede XL. James, you said you've seen it. I haven't seen it. You said the artwork is more correct on that one.
It is correct. Or it's more correct, right? It's up high,
Doesn't
not
have that
down at the
horrible
bottom.
Atari logo at the top.
Correct. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's positioned where it should be.
Now we've seen nothing about Star Wars, so there's no guarantee Star Wars will be available at launch. Like the only two that we're 100% sure are going to be available right away are Centipede Ultra and WrestleFest Ultra, and then we'll see about the club stores. I think honestly, don't be surprised if it's just those two cabs.
Yeah, I wouldn't be shocked. I've heard things about TMNT, so it's potential TMNT could be coming out from multiple companies, which would be crazy. So we'll see how that goes.
Yeah, well, I think the people that are going to do really well with TMNT are the people that stick to the arcade game for the artwork. The people that aren't going to do really well are the people thinking like, people want modern games. Give them Shredder's Revenge. Give them the Cowabunga collection. Just fucking make the original arcade cabinet, guys. It's not that complicated.
Yeah, it'll be interesting. If there are, depending on the companies that try to squeeze it out, like, we know like Nickelodeon will give that TMNT license to anybody and their brother. People like mock Data East, but man, everybody makes TMNT figures because
Yeah.
Nickelodeon will give that to anybody. So it wouldn't shock me if you end up with 2, 3, or 4 companies making some sort of Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle cab in the next year or 2. Like, it's pretty crazy, so we'll see what happens.
So Biggie D says he said it in a stream, in the chat, said it was September 1st. Well, I got news for you. It's been September 1st in Australia for a very long time now, so
Yeah.
that information may not be accurate.
Yeah.
That's all in the news. Like, we don't know anything. We think David McIntosh may be involved with Basic Fun. I think for most of us in the community that are trying to get information, that's the person we got to harass. So that's what I will advise. This is where you come in and follow up on it.
Yeah, so I was reading the chat there. So yeah, I mean, I can't say a whole lot, but I do have somebody else, that obviously is working with them. So, but um which I try not to bug about it, right? Like if they have info to share, they'll share it at the time. But
Yeah,
I
that's kind of how I am. I don't like pressuring people to try to get
yeah,
news.
it's not my place, so I don't want to like hound somebody for something. But I would love for them. Obviously, September 1st was yesterday in Australia at this point, I think.
Yeah.
Considering our September 1st is already almost over. But if it is like this week, I think that would be great fun and a great sign. But I don't know. I would think you will see it at Spreetail or somebody like at the same time whenever it happens. So I think you'll have it pop up all over the place.
Like I know here in Canada, the Brick already has orders in for the Ultra line of cabinets.
Right.
They're not getting Supreme, wasn't even discussed with them. So they're coming. We just don't know when.
Yep. Yeah, and I've heard the same about Spreetail, right? That they got POs in and all that other stuff. So, it's only a matter of time. Nothing has landed. There's nothing, no indication anything has shipped or anything at this point. So it could come anytime between now and Christmas, right? So we have no idea at this stage.
Hopefully before Christmas.
Yeah, you just never know though, right? Like the way things are right now, you just have no idea. Yeah. If they miss Christmas, that's gonna really hurt their sales. But it's been dead quiet from them since that toy magazine. So
Really, really awkwardly quiet. So even we were told one of the reasons Arcade1Up couldn't do an XL at Costco this year is that spot went to Basic Fun and their Ultra or Supreme cabs. But I mean, like the timeline for getting your cabs into Costco for the Christmas retail is here, and we got no cabs. So there you
yeah,
go.
they've traditionally shown up in August and September, right? And so we've seen nothing. So
I never use breaking news, Devastator Omega. I always just say it's big news. All right. Well, anyways, P Dubs has started. Go support P Dubs, the mayor. Show homage to the mayor. Let him know he's the big dog, or else he gets really upset about that. He is really, really concerned that he's number one. So make him feel like he's number one. Do that for me personally, please. And also, guys, please go check out James Hates Everything. He's one of my favorite people on the tubes, one of the nicest, kindest people here on YouTube. He does a show on Thursdays. He's got a show now where he talks legal mumbo jumbo and he talks about the business side of home arcade. And that's something I can certainly appreciate because a lot of times we always talk from the heart what we'd like to see, and we don't actually think about it from a business perspective of what's possible. So I love that you take that approach, James, and you find that interesting. So thank you very much for doing that, sir.
well, thanks for having me on. Always a pleasure to come hang out and talk nerd.
Thanks for coming on at such late notice as well. I assumed with the way my voice has been acting the last couple of weeks, guess that's the secret. That's how I can make it through the hour. Anyways, James, thank you very much. Everybody, do me a favor, go check out P Dubs, the mayor. Again, pay homage to him. He needs it. His ego needs this. Feed his ego. Go check out his show. Tell him Mike B sent you. Have a great rest of your week. We'll see you Friday for Super Game Room Dudes. And before that, go check out James on Thursday as he'll be breaking down something behind the scenes about some company. Good night, everybody. Gotta remember where this thing is. Ah, there it is. 100 people still here. No one wants to watch P-Dubs. I knew it.